Hopefully you cannot hear what I think is cicadas. The cicadas outside. It is the definition of absolutely nothing I can do. So hopefully you can't hear that buzzing. But anyways. All right. Hello. Welcome. My name is Shaina. I'm an astrologer and tarot reader. And today we are continuing my Uranus mini-series. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've already done a video about Uranus moving into Gemini. I'll link it, the playlist up in the cards. And I've done a video about Uranus transits through all 12 houses. And today we are doing a Uranus inspired pick a card reading. I actually did this with Saturn and Neptune as well, and I honestly really enjoyed it. I love a theme, right? I'm a true theater kid. I love a theme. Today I tried to be inspired by Uranus and particularly it moving into Gemini, which emphasizes the whole sudden changes, having to be adaptable, being kept on your toes, having to make a lot of decisions, right? I think decisions are especially going to be emphasized because it's so intellectual with Uranus and Gemini. So today we are asking the question, what unexpected changes or shifts are coming your way, right? And then we'll kind of obviously, once we've assessed that, we'll go and move forward to figure out, what might be the best way to move forward or what might happen depending on how you move forward. So before we get any further into the pile selection though, let me get some advertising out of the way. I feel like I'm talking kind of weird. I don't know. So I sell birth chart readings on my website, shainaemily.com. I'm actually doing a special right now on transit readings. They are $75 for 30 minutes. They're going to be pre-recorded since all of these energies, all the, Jupiter through Pluto, they're all shifting into new energies, starting last year, moving until next year. So this is just a big transitionary time for everyone. I'm honestly super obsessed with the fact that we're living through a generational change and we're aware of it. I think that's so interesting that we know it's going to happen as it's happening, before it's happening, rather than reflecting on it after it happened. I think it's so interesting. So that's why I wanted to offer these transit readings. I only have a certain amount in stock. Once they're gone, they're gone. I'll be filming pretty much all of them the first 2 weeks of August, okay? I also, if you're watching this after the fact, I always sell birth chart readings. I always sell transit readings. All that stuff is on my website, shainaemily.com. I also have an astrology TikTok. I post super frequently over there. I post almost every day, and I go live every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Although, if you're watching this around the time that I post, obviously I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm going to be in New York. I will not be doing a live, and I'm going to be pretty quiet on TikTok, but it's all going to start back in August. Don't worry. Speaking of which, if I do post over the next 2 weeks, I'll be posting on my backup account at shaina.emily backup, where I post as well. About astrology and potentially my New York trip. Okay, we get it. Let's get into the video. So we have 3 piles to choose from. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. I'll tell you the decks that I'll be using today, and you can pick intuitively using those decks. But if you don't want to and you just want to ask random number generator or ask your intuition, ask your dog, ask the little man in your head, whatever it may be, you can do that as well. But let's go over the 3 piles. So the tarot decks that spoke out for me to use today, not the oracle decks, but the tarot decks, are kind of different decks than I normally use. And then I was like, that's weird. And then I was like, oh, this is Uranus. It's supposed to be unexpected, right? That makes sense. Okay. So for pile 1, the deck that stood out to me is this new deck that I got called the Bee Tarot. And the reason why I was surprised about this is because I usually am not attracted to decks that it's like bees. I don't know, it feels so small and it feels a little cash grabby, but I have a whole story about it on my backup TikTok page. But I actually really like this, and I think actually the illustrations are well done. The book is really well done. I was like, okay, I'm actually glad that this has been speaking to me because I wouldn't normally pick it up, but I actually kind of like it. It's kind of confusing though because I still, even though the theme is bees, I still don't get the vibe. But I've been liking it nonetheless, and the pictures are really pretty clear, actually. Okay, so pile 2, I actually did a whole review of this. I'll link it in the cards. The Tarot of Vampires. Yeah, we all know I have a very complicated relationship with this deck. But yeah, so this pile 2 is the Tarot of Vampires. And then pile 3, this is a deck that I've only used 3 times, and I think was really, the concept is 10 out of 10, and the actual way it was produced, the quality of it is 1 of 10. So I never use it, so that's why I'm surprised this one's coming up. So this is Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen Tarot. Again, the concept is great. So that is pile 3. So pick your pile, and I will see you in your pile selection. All right, Hello, pile one. So you chose the pile with the B tarot. However, because this is my pick a card reading inspired by Uranus, I decided to throw everybody a curveball, and the pile order that I said at the beginning is not the pile order that I'm going to be going with. Okay, so your pile is not the B tarot. Your pile is actually Tarot of Vampires. So that is the vibe, basically. And I actually also have the Zammer Twins Oracle. I love this deck. Obviously, there is a darker core or darker center to this reading. I think in choosing the B Tarot, you're wanting to be through the thick of it, but I think you still got some more to go through, but it doesn't feel negative. It just feels hard and emotionally challenging more than anything, and it feels very rewarding, but it feels like it feels a little lonely, I think, is the hardest part of it, honestly. And also because this is Uranus, I'm trying to do things differently, be inspired by Uranus. So I feel like I would typically pull a card first, but I'm actually just going to kind of start the readings with my intuition and with the things around me first. So obviously, this is a pile that's going through a little bit of a dark night of the soul. I also felt called to use my new incense burner, which is like super bright with this fortune incense and this like really fun lighter I resurrected yesterday because I found, and it's like a vibe. And I found these, I didn't know I had these. These are fortune incense. I don't even know where I got these from, probably in a pack or something. But I was saving them all, and I only have 2 left. It's very sweet. So I feel like it's saying that, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting kind of like a 5 of Cups vibe, where there is things that have been lost, but there's still so much good in the future. There's still so much growth, and there's still, even though maybe you feel as though you have some things even emotionally to worry about, all is not lost. There is still so much good, and those 2 good, like, because I'm thinking like the 5 of Cups, 3 of them are spelt over and 2 of them are upright. So I'm thinking like what is held in those 2 cups is even better than what is held in one of the 2 cups that are still full. I think is even better and even more rewarding and fulfilling than all of the 3 cups that have spilled out combined, right? And I feel like this is saying like, welcome in hard emotions, welcome in the hard emotions that come with this change. I think this is a pile that is going through just the most obvious changes, is in really the thick of it. Like, I feel like this is pile 1, it's in the first stage of these changes. Maybe you haven't acted upon them yet, or you're just about to, whatever these things are. Everybody's going through changes right now because of all the transit changes. At least I found in my clients, and astrologically I would expect that, and client-wise it seems like it's even more a little bit stronger than normal, I guess I'll say. But it seems like there's so much creativity, and there's still so much like color and vibrancy and excitement to you and your personality. Just because you're going through this hard time doesn't mean that you have to lose that, right? Like, this is maybe like, I'd say like somebody with Leo energy. I'm just like stereotyping, right? Somebody with a bunch of Leo energy that's very optimistic, hopeful, and positive, but is going through a very scorpionic vibe time, right? And that doesn't mean you have to change your personality just because you're going through this, or be somebody different, but that doesn't mean you have to honor what you're going through and allow yourself to feel it emotionally, right? Coming from a Capricorn, right? It's funny. Okay, let's I feel called to pull this dice. I feel called to this, and I feel called to this. So first of all, we have this calming spray. This is lavender and ylang ylang, because I do feel like, I think I made you nervous. I think you're like a little bit like, oh, things are maybe a little calm right now and you weren't expecting it, or, you knew it was coming. But I just think in general, like, maybe you knew it was coming, but you're like nervous about it. I think in general, you're nervous and you're anxious, and you don't need to be. This is like a good thing. I feel very positive about this. I just feel like it smells so good. This smells so good. I think that also what I'm thinking is you've been living a little bit in, like, withholding zone, like where you haven't been able to kind of like buy yourself all the things or get yourself nice things or treat yourself in the way that you've wanted to for a while. Maybe because of this situation, because of how you feel about yourself, because of how you feel about your environment, because of how you feel about the situation, because of blah, 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 right? I feel like you haven't been, I feel like this is a very like in your body physical, actually like physical sort of energy, even though you're going through a lot of emotional things, if that makes sense. Like I'm getting so much like, again, like Taurus, Scorpio, Leo. Maybe this is like fixed energy, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. Like maybe that's coming in. Maybe one of those houses are being triggered in your transit chart. Maybe you have that natally. Maybe this represents a person. But it just seems like there's some fixed energy coming in. Right? Like it feels very like Taurus, Scorpio, like going through these really deeply emotional things, Scorpio. But still like, I feel so, I want to draw a card, but I'm trying to like, okay, let's look at this. We're just going to draw one of these. Pisces. Pisces is in the 5th house with the North Node. Oh, so, okay. And it's opposite Mars. Okay. Trine midheaven. Dude, I think this is saying like, yeah, right? Like, have time to have fun, time to enjoy yourself. I feel like you almost feel guilty for having fun. You feel guilty for letting loose. You feel guilty for enjoying yourself. You feel guilty to indulge or to dream or to fantasize. You feel guilty about fantasizing about romance, fantasizing about a new life, fantasizing about what could be good for you and could serve you. Maybe you've always been taught to, you know, Mars in Virgo in the 11th house, serve others, serve the greater good, serve the greater community, serve those that are less fortunate than you, right? But I feel like Pisces energy in the 5th house is like allowing yourself to be taken care of so you can be creative, allowing yourself to be taken care of even by yourself, however it is, taking care of yourself, even maybe like bring in some of that Virgo energy, right? I always say bring the South Node into the North Node, right? Use those abilities that you have to inform your North Node. So use your ability to just like help others. And I feel like Mars in Virgo in the 11th house is like very active and is very like a busybody and very like passionate and very like even sometimes a little cutthroat. But like use that quality for yourself. Use that quality to get to your own fun, to enjoy yourself, to allow yourself to indulge, instead of like feeling like you always need to not just give it to another person, but it's like the 11th house, like do it for you feel like you have to do everything for some greater, grander, overarching reason, holier than thou reason. Like I do think there is a strong moral implication coming in here. Like maybe you feel very weighted by your morals and standing by your morals, and like no matter how your boss acts, no matter how the people around you act, you have to stay true to your morals, even if it's not serving you anymore, right? Okay, I also grabbed this, and I feel very drawn to it. I think this is a selenite, like little, what is that called? Athame knife. But isn't it specifically, I might be wrong. Okay. With, we have Mars and Virgo in the 11th house, so you guys will tell me, right? You guys will make sure I know. Okay. So let's see here. Let's do we'll pull a card right after this, but let's do some assessing here. I'm going to kind of cut my head off a little bit. My bad. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Before I do this, it's Uranus, so I'm allowing myself to be all over the place. Gotta allow those Uranian messages. I pulled out this deck. This is a funny deck that I pulled it out because I just didn't expect myself to buy it. I fully was like, I'm gonna use this deck for every pile today because it's like so unexpected. It's just like your classic Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards. And I found them at like a little like thrift store, but it was like more like boho-y, spiritual themed. If that makes sense. And I was just like, I don't know. I thought it was cute that somebody else own these. So yeah, let's see. This is about a relationship. This is about work. and this is about yourself. So, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, sorry, I was going to get up and do this. Hold on. I said I was going to pull cards after, but it's Uranus. So we can be unpredictable. Okay, so we have the Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, change mind. Yeah, this is one of these, like, love to the point, like, goofy little cards like this, but, like, let's have some fun. Let's do something unexpected. I would never normally buy this deck. It was just because it was used, you know? I was like, oh, the Phoenix. I wanted to resurrect it, just like you need to resurrect your life. Like, this is a self card. I should have said that, which it makes sense. We have Tarot of Vampires, Xammer Twins, Oracle. So this is like Phoenix energy. I talked about Scorpio energy. I talked about fixed energy. So this is you're coming to a new phase. This is pile number 1. I think it's very literal this time that it's pile number 1, 2, and 3. It's like, what phase of these changes are you in? So, relationship. We have heartbroken reversed, though. I think you're numb. Deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. But it's reversed. So you feel like you should be feeling this way, but you don't. You feel numb to the situation because you're coming to changing. If you know, this could be a friendship, this could be a romantic relationship, this could be a parental relationship, whatever the big relationship is that you probably had in mind during this reading when you came to it is kind of what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's almost just like I feel like there's that relationship that you're thinking about, you know, it needs to change. You need to grow from it because you've changed so much that you're not the person that you were when you met them, or you're not the person you were when you were a child and, you know, they're a parent, right? Whatever it is. You're not that person anymore. And you've maybe Pisces in the 5th house, you've maybe like tried to be that long enough. You know what I mean? And we have fixed energy coming in. So it's like you do have a fixed personality in the way of like you do know who you are. You're just pretending you don't, right? Is kind of the energy. Now, I think I asked about work. And if I didn't, that's what I'm going to say it is. Work and career. We have photograph reversed. Looking at your phone. Fly. Oh, it's the blessed fly. That's what we'll say now. It's the blessed fly. You're blessed. I'm trying to switch it, turn it into a positive Uranus. And these are the blessed cicadas outside my door. Yes. Looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. Photograph reversed. So with your career, you're looking forward. You're looking forward. You're not looking backwards. Okay. I just feel like there's a little bit of an empty message there. Well, this is what it looks like upright. Photograph reversed. Maybe there's even something to do with your career or work that is relevant to a picture, or is relevant to a picture that was posted on the internet, or is maybe it's talking about because of your career, you curate your personality online and you feel like you can't be fully yourself. Maybe your career is affecting your self-image. And you feel a little bit, maybe you feel a little bit like you don't like what you see. You don't like how your career represents you. Maybe that's a feeling as well because it's reversed. You're like I see it with a reverse, like you're not looking at this with like nostalgia, hard eyes. You're looking at this like you don't want to look at it. You know what I mean? That's how I'm thinking. Like you don't want to look your career in the face, maybe a little bit. You don't want to be honest with yourself and your job for some reason or another. I don't necessarily feel like that your job is all bad though. Like I don't feel like, but for some reason you're struggling to be honest with it or be honest with yourself in it. Like maybe there's a boss I feel like is very much coming up, like the feeling of this, like of a boss that's maybe halting your progress, or a boss that you're struggling with or something along those lines. But I feel like what you're doing isn't the problem, but it's like how you're doing it, why you're doing it, the situation you're doing it in, or some kind of repeated pattern. Okay, let's get one last message. So what is the main unexpected change? And then we'll like identify it in the body. Oh. What is the main unexpected change coming your way? The runner. Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. Maybe this is a boss too, like running from that codependent relationship, because that's what I was, because I was just talking about that. Like I was like, it doesn't seem like it's the job, it's the boss or something like that. The overarching man. It doesn't have to be literally a man, but you know what I'm trying to say. The runner. There's a man that's on this card. So yeah, the unexpected change is that you think the other person is going to be the one to leave. You think the other person is going to be the one to fire you. You think the other person is going to be the one to disown you, like if it's a parent, right? You think the other person is going to be the one to stop being your friend or break up with you, right? But it's going to be you. And that's like the unexpected change is that, Aries energy coming in. We no longer have outer planets in Pisces where the world is happening to us. We're happening to the world actively again, and we are being asked to and demanded to, right? And so what's going to be so shocking is that you're going to be playing the active role in your changes in your life coming up, and that can be really daunting or scary for you because you're not going to be the victim. Even if you were a victim in the situation, you're going to be the person that Axis is also so Taurus to me too. Like Tauruses are so the MO of like, I'm not going to break up with you. You have to break up with me. No matter what the situation is. Jobs too, especially. Oh my God. So like, again, we have that fixed energy coming in, but you're going to be the one taking action. Okay, so let's see, let's assess your body. Let's see where this is going on in your body. I'm probably not going to be editing these because I want to get it out before I leave for New York. So that's why there's a little bit more space in between it than normal. I would normally be more careful. Just explaining myself. Okay. All right. Excuse the cut off head. It is very Pisces. Like I feel more casual. I feel like, I feel more casual in this. I feel like I know you, Maybe you've gotten a reading from me before. Maybe I do know you. Who knows? Okay. Ooh. Throat chakra is definitely closed. It might even be inflamed. It's closed, but it's overworking itself. Ooh, but it also needs energy. It's messed up. Throat chakra messed up. Okay, let's put this little lapis lazuli or whatever you say about it. I feel like it's very like outspoken energy. And then the root, I feel like there's some other issues, but it's like the issue with the root is kind of causing the other issues that don't need to be there, right? So there's some issue with your grounding with your like core principles of your life, like the basic core principles that's off. Maybe you're struggling financially and you aren't, feeding yourself properly. Maybe your home is up in the air. Maybe you don't like where you live. Maybe the issue is the person you live with. Maybe you don't feel a sense of security where you are, maybe because of a complete outside circumstances, like nothing has to do with you, or the people in your life, like, but it's like I can't talk, your living situation is up in the air, right? And let's actually check this out. Oof. This is my pendulum that I use for others, and I have my pendulum that I use for myself. I never use this one except for in these videos because it's like my public one, right? Which maybe that's what you need, right? Maybe you let everybody use your things, or you let everybody see your things, or something along those lines. It doesn't have to be like spiritual stuff, but it could be even, and maybe even crystals if you do have crystals, right? Like, are you letting everyone touch those? Are you letting everybody's energy onto those? How are you treating them? How are you treating yourself? How are you treating your items, right? That's very like root chakra-y, Do you have things that you allow for others to share and then boundaries and things you only have for yourself, or is it muddied? Right? Is it too muddied, or is it only one or the other, right? The issue is that it's closed, but it's closed, so you allow whatever to come in that wants to come in, if that makes sense. Like any opportunity for security or safety that presents itself you allow it in because it's closed. And so you're like, well, I need sun. But because of that, because you allow everything in, it's always going to stay closed because it's never going to feel secure. So it's like it's closed. It's not really like properly operating. It's under operating, but yet it allows anything in kind of situation. Like, again, like, oh, my friend needs a roommate, right? Like it's very like root chakra and you're like, oh, okay, I need a home. You don't know, who is this person though? You know what I mean? Maybe you do better waiting a little bit longer, or vetting the person first. You know what I mean? But it's an opportunity for security. Yes, but is it actually an opportunity for security if when you get there you still don't feel secure? Then you're just wasting your time, right? But, it doesn't have to be like a living situation. It can be like whatever causes or grants you security. I think just in general with the Uranus and Gemini transit, after a lot of Pisces energy, people have had a lot of things that they've wanted to say and a lot of undertones of what we know everyone's thinking, but they haven't felt comfortable to say it, potentially. Or only online. Maybe with Uranus and Taurus, they felt comfortable to say it because Taurus is so honest. But with Uranus and Gemini energy, I think there people are going to be saying a lot of the things that they've not. Like, I think it'll make even some of the most underspoken, quietly spoken people a little bit more verbally open or honest. Not even aggressive, just like, well, maybe aggressive with the Aries energy, but more just honest, I think. Or just, maybe not honest, but chatty. Or putting it out there more. Maybe people will finally be realizing what they say. Like hearing what they say being mimicked back, like, oh my God, that's not actually what I want to be like. Maybe that's coming in with you right now. Like you're hearing yourself mimicked back in other people and you're like, wait, that's literally me. And that's literally so embarrassing when I hear somebody else say it. You know what I mean? Like, oh goodness, Okay, we're going to close up with the tarot cards. I know you're like, are we even going to get to it? Yes, this is Uranus though, baby. It's going to be a little unpredictable. You got to go with the flow. I'm already preparing you. We have, you can only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Yes, discernment. My favorite word, discernment of choices. It's so challenging. Is this worth all my energy or is this not? Am I being lazy or am I just being prudent, if that's the word, One more message and then I'm sorry, we'll get to it. You'll be rewarded for your patience and understanding. So, you'll be rewarded for your patience and understanding. What I actually mean by that is that I think it's talking about your patience with yourself, your environment, and your understanding of your choices that you've made. Like, I feel like that's something more that you need for yourself right now. This does feel very, like I said, I think at the beginning, like self-focused sort of energy. It should feel selfish. It should, see what's going on where Aries is. Obviously with Neptune and Saturn going in there, but, oh no, there's a fly on my mic. I wonder how long that's been there. Oh my God. Has it been buzzing for like 5 minutes? Goodness. And I lost my train of thought now. Well, distractions, right? Patience and understand. I guess I need to be patient and understanding with myself. And the fly. Right? Move forward. I remembered anyways, right? Understanding. There's a little lesson right there. So let's see. So we know that the big change is going to be sudden, self-inflicted, if that makes sense. Not in a bad way, in a positive way. We have the Empress, and it's all about looking for pleasure, looking for goodness, looking for wholeness, looking for enjoyment, looking for those things that you've been withholding of yourself for so long. Also, there's a song that I've been liking. There's a song that I really liked a while ago, and I recently was listening to it again, and it's like, what is it? I'd rather be the bully than the victim. Bite the apple, please. I think like Snow White, right? And I feel like for some reason, that's like a very, the Empress, this specific tarot of vampires Empress, right? Like she's got a little bit of a bloody mouth from fulfilling her desires, basically. And like, what is the feeling? Like narcissists, what is the saying? Like narcissists look for doormats sort of energy, right? So if you're the Empress and you demand pleasure and goodness, and I feel like also the word wholeness is a big one with this Empress in your life, like completeness, like feeling like this fully and completely satisfies me and makes me happy, and I'm able to enjoy and indulge in it and take a second to do so. But we have the Four of Cups reversed. It says the Four of Grails. But if I'm not mistaken, because these have really confusing names, if you remember, it's Cups. Grails was the easy one. So this is Moon in Cancer, Four of Grails reversed. Oh yeah, so it's all just about what you've been looking for is true and complete satisfaction and comfort. Again, fixed energy, right? Heart-centered energy, Leo, Aquarius. But what you've been getting instead is kind of what I said, Four of Cups reversed. Just taking whatever comes your way without thinking about whether or not it's what you want. You know, discontentment, right? I think of this card upright as contentment, but I think of this card reversed as discontentment. Let's pull, I feel like we need to pull a card for somebody else. Whoever that person is, again, whether that's a boss, a parent, a partner, a pet, I don't know. Whoever's just been coming up. I need to pull a card for them. The Wound Man. The Wound Man reversed. Yes, just the Wound Man. Of course. Ah, yes, the Wound Man. The Moon Man reversed. It's weaponized incompetence. That's what I think is what this is gonna say. Again, I don't know every single card of this oracle, but like memorized. But I just really like what they say. I really like this guy. I will always read his descriptions. So okay, a wounded man rises into the heavens, penetrated by various forms of weaponry. Although his injuries are severe, he remains alive and beyond any feelings of pain. But it's reversed. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm right. A hypochondriac, seeking sympathy through illness, victimhood, right? So that's the message for the other person. And then we have one card for them too. The Hanged Man reversed. So I think this is a few things. I feel like the Hangman reverse is like, you need, this is for the message for this other person. You've dwelled long enough. You've thought about it long enough. You've talked about it long enough. Now it's time to take action, right? It's like weaponized incompetence. That's what I was saying. You know, also it's interesting. The Wound Man, the Hanged Man. It's probably a masculine energy in your life. Even if they're like your mom, they're probably very much in their masculine energy, or, you know, maybe it's because of a masculine energy in their life that they're that way. One of the two, both. But it's interesting. It's very man, right? Neptune in Aries. I said there's going to be this dissolution of what it means to be a man and what it's like to be a man and what being a man means. Like that's going to change. And this is like kind of emphasizing that again with these shifts. But it's also talking about, like, I always, like, struggle to say this, because the Hangman is thinking about something in a different way. And I feel like the Hangman reverse is, like, you need to stop thinking about that thing in a different way and just see it for what it is. Yes, that's what I'm always trying to say when I'm trying to interpret this card. Like, you're thinking too much into it. You know what I mean? It's like Pisces energy reversed, right? Like, you are being deluded, and you are overthinking it, and you are over-martyring, you are, like, making things up or whatever it is. It's distorted. It's a distorted lens, right? And it needs to stop. You need to start, and this person needs to start seeing what's right in front of them is like what I think it is, right? And also I feel like it's somebody that pretends they're stuck and in pain, but and like hung there basically, but they're not. Their feet are planted actually solidly on the ground when it's reversed, right? All right. All right, before I go, I know I keep saying that. We don't want to end this pile talking about somebody else in the relationship, right? Somebody else involved in the situation. Somebody else, right? This is about you. This time is about you. Pile number 1. Again, I think Aries energy is coming up really well. Maybe this is coming up in your progress chart. Maybe this is coming up in your solar return chart. Maybe this is strong in your natal chart. You feel like you're acting upon it. And obviously, if you have Aries energy, it's being triggered by these 2 transits. Neptune and Aries. Since I promised you guys the B tarot, Uranus usually does swing back around. Okay, like it might not come back around how you expect. Let's close up the reading with the B tarot. See, you gotta trust Uranus energy sometimes, right? You'll get what you want. You just might not like how you get there. I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Let's get one final message. The King of Cups, King of Jars, and the Eight of Pentacles reversed. This situation is fulfilling emotionally, but it's not fulfilling practically. Maybe this job or career path is very fulfilling and you love doing it creatively, but it's not reaping the rewards that you want because of X, Y, Z. Maybe this relationship is fulfilling emotionally, even if it's like a mother, right? They listen to me emotionally. They understand me because they've been with me for so long. You know, they're the one person that's constant in my life. I'm just saying as an example, right? This could be anyone. But they drain me of my resources. They keep me behind, right? If I stay living with them, I can't grow and expand and build on what I know is there and the potentials that are there. You're in very strong energy right now. It does feel like there's a little bit of you're on the precipice of something. And I think that you know that and feel that emotionally. So you're just trying to get your external circumstances to align with that. Also, I feel like it's saying you're pouring so much emotional energy to your environment that maybe, you know, you have no space for a career. You have no space for this opportunity. You have no space for this job. You have no space for work because you're pouring, look, he's like drenched in honey. You're pouring so much energy into your emotions or this other person. Maybe you're giving them all of your honey or your job or whatever it is, right? And you just don't really have, but you don't get to keep that fulfillment, right? So this is good. This is good. I like that we have both of these cards showing up. King of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. This is really beautifully balanced energy. This is like ideal, right? And just because the Eight of Pentacles is reversed, you have to understand that it's still there. The energy is still there. It's just a little bit distorted right now. So there just needs to be some changes and adjustments that you take upon yourself to get it to where they're both upright and you feel fulfilled emotionally and you feel fulfilled materially or physically in some way. All right, pile one. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hope that it resonated with you in some way or you got something out of it. You're always welcome to leave your experiences or your thoughts in the comment section down below. I really do always appreciate your guys' comments. You guys know that. So thank you so much again for watching my video and supporting my content. Again, if you want a specialized, personalized astrology transit reading, I am selling them on my website, shainaemily.com. Just a special sale for this upcoming, maybe next week or two, $75 for 30 minutes, but if not, I always just sell transit readings and all sorts of readings on my website, shainaemily.com. I have a lot of other stuff. It'll be linked down below. I'm sure you know this. I'm sure you've heard this spiel a billion times. So anyways, yeah. Be selfish is the theme. Think about you. I said this in a reading recently, actually. Maybe this person's watching too. You know, I said like, if you do what's selfish for you in the long run, it'll actually be what benefits everybody else too, because you'll be happy and you'll be able to support them in the way that makes you happy and that you want to, and not in the way that you feel obligated to. Does that make sense? So the happier you are, the happier everybody else is as well, right? All right, thank you so much again for watching pile one. Bye. All right, hello, welcome, pile two. So if you guys watched the pile selection, that means that you chose the Tarot of Vampires. However, because this is my Uranus-inspired video, I am throwing a curveball at you, okay? You are not getting the Tarot of Vampires. Actually, you picked the pile with Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen Tarot, okay? That's right. Gotta keep you on your toes. Gotta expect the unexpected with this Uranus transit, okay? We all gotta be adaptable, adjustable. So that's what we're doing. So yes, in this pile two, we have the Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen Tarot. We have the Nocturnal Garden Lenormand, and the Supernova Tarot is also all the cards that came forward today. So, also, I'm trying to do this a little bit differently. I normally start with the tarot, but since I threw such a curveball at you, okay, I gotta honor the Uranian energy, right? And so I'm going to not start with tarot. I don't know why. I feel like it looks weird when you see the barcodes. Okay, moving forward. So the first thing that we're gonna start with is, okay. We have Libra, Mars and Libra in the 9th house coming forward here. So I think that there was like an impulsive decision that was just made, right? Like we're doing unexpected changes when unexpected changes are coming your way. You feel fragmented. That's why I'm spraying this. You feel very fragmented right now. You feel a little like unpredictable to yourself. You feel a little overwhelmed. You feel a little bit like, I think maybe like lost in perspectives, lost in multiple perspectives. Like you acted, but now you're weighing all these options of if that's how you should have acted, if that's when you should have acted, if you should keep acting like that. Like that's the Libra Mars thing, right? Like going back and forth with your decisions, doubting yourself, seeing this perspective, seeing the other perspective, struggling sometimes to see your perspective. When you do see your perspective, you know, getting talked out of it by the people around you. But with the 9th house, there's such an action that gets taken. There's such a spur of the moment, sporadic, passionate thing that happens. So I actually did really feel like in the first pile that these piles are like sequential this time, right? Like pile 1 was right before these changes have been happened, or just as they're being made, or just as they're being recognized that they need to be made, right? Like on the precipice. Pile 2, I feel like you're reeling in the middle of it all, right? Like you just quit your job. You just changed your major. You just started a new relationship and moved in with the person. You quit quit your relationship like it's a job. Deadass. You broke up with your boyfriend. I would like to put in this is my energy. I would like to put in my formal 2 weeks notice. I will be moving out. This is my energy. Maybe this is you too. I'll be moving out in 2 weeks. I would like to resign. I hope you can give me good recommendations in the future. It's mailed to the house. Anyway, sorry. I mean, maybe that's the vibe. Very like Mars and Libra. Diplomatic, right? How can I handle, like, maybe there was a vibe of like, how can I handle this change that I'm making abruptly as diplomatically as possible? Motherfucker, it can't be. It can't be. Okay, I feel called to, pull, or not pull, but like, see what, grab a message from this deck. I haven't been able to talk this whole video, so. And I'm trying not to edit it because I want to get it out before I leave, and I won't be able to edit it if I do that, so we're really getting chaotic video. And then the cicadas. Fight it out. Interesting. Fight it out. Okay, so this is saying not literally fight it out. Like, I'm not saying like, don't fight for something you don't want, but fight for your decision. Fight for this impulsive decision that you made is not as impulsive as other people think it is. This change that you made, like, fight for it. Fight for your decision. Stand behind it, right? Believe in it. Okay, I do feel like there was a reason why I grabbed these. But, oh, I also want to... Okay, let's start with lighting an incense. I was going to choose this one. I would just like to say, okay, I'm not going to light this one, but I have these funny money magic ones. I pulled out my, like, random incense today. And I do feel like there's a lot of, like, fortunate financial energy coming in this pile more than all the other piles. So and not saying that, like, I didn't feel like a bad energy at all financially from the first pile, but it came out specifically for this pile that there is a lot of positive financial maybe there's a lot of positive financial opportunities that came from this decision that you made. Maybe there's a lot of investment opportunities, or maybe there's more potential for financial positivities. The theme of these readings was actually what was on the pot, what was right here on the table when I started was Pluto in Scorpio in the 2nd house. And I do feel a lot of that energy as well for this, where it's like you might be making this really hard decision that you made that might have really, like, let's say you left a job that really relied on you. It might make everybody's life harder in that job, but it probably made your life a lot easier, and you probably benefit from it financially exponentially, as an example, right? But I don't feel like this is necessary to bring in, but I do feel like I just wanted to say that. Let's see, let's go. This is my random packs, like my random one-offs that I don't know where I found. It's like the Uranian packs. Pick a hands. I'm picking the right anyways. We have Pixie Island. I do love Oh my God, do I have any left? I'm going to use one of these for you. I am. You know what it's saying? People want to do nice things for you. People want to treat you. People want to give you special things that mean a lot to them. You know, that doesn't mean they have to give you everything. Like, I'm only giving you one of them. I have quite a few in here, actually. You know, so I'm okay. I'll be fine. But these are my coveted Pixie Island incense because my dog's name is Pixie. And that's us together. That's where we're going to live. So, yeah. So, I also picked, no. This ain't the vibe for you. You're like, you're more mature. We're moving forward with things. This ain't inner child stuff anymore. You've been healing your inner child. You've done healed your inner child. It's time to live in the moment and move on. That's what I think. So, let's see what this says. The incense sticks around. It creates a holistic, magical environment in your home when holistic. The word holistic has come up twice on the things that I've read, and I really do feel like your personality and your sense of self is very fragmented right now. Because you're in the middle of things. You're in the thick of those Uranian changes. I think that Uranus and Gemini is hitting directly this pile more than the other piles. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a very Gemini heavy, let's just call it right now. This is a very mutable, heavy pile. You know, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. That is the energy that I feel coming forward. Obviously with Mars and Libra, I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's coming from, Mars and Libra can feel like a mutable fucking sign. At least how I experience it feels like it, because I changed my mind. You know, I get so easily swayed by the things that people say, which can be a very, like, mutable energy in my opinion. Like, feel like that at least. So, I think that, you know, Uranus and Gemini, I think Uranus and Gemini specifically is affecting you. Last pile was like Neptune and Saturn and Aries. This is like the Uranus and Gemini, Uranian unexpected changes pile. So there's probably some strong mutable energy that it's hitting, whether that's Gemini or the other mutables. Maybe it's in a mutable house right now. Maybe you're just having a lot of mutable energy in your natal chart or your progress chart, whatever it is, or you're just feeling, even if you're a fixed personality, you're feeling like, yeah, I called on what little mutable energy I have right now, you know, to do this change, you know, might even be the feeling. Okay, so let's see. Dear old hag. Okay, that's what I said, just so we know, not, still a shitty word. I feel like there's a message coming. It's a letter from the person or the thing or the item or the environment or the thing that you've left behind recently. And they're so mad at you. And for some reason, you want to be berated by them. I think it's almost like that Mars and Libra. And I think maybe even 9th house energy, like the guilt. Like 9th house wants to be better, do better. Be inspired. Be the change you want to be in the world. Heal everyone. Be happy, right? I think, and then Mars just fucks it up, right? So you just want to be berated by people because of what you feel like is the pressure or the change that you've caused them. So there you go. Dear old hag, you're a big old fart. Hold on. This is definitely Gemini energy. This feels like a little brother, a little sibling. Like this person is, even if, you know, I'm not trying to be weird if it was like a romantic relationship, but it just feels like they have that energy of like maybe they're the youngest sibling or something, or they act like it, you know, like they act like that stereotype. I like a lot of younger siblings, but you know what I mean. Like, anyways. Okay, hold on. Let's just see what they have to say. You can listen to the cicadas in the background. Sorry, hold on. While I'm finishing writing this, they want you to think of that thing that you've always wondered about. They want you to, that thing that you dwell about, the thing that's kept you up at night, they want you to think about that for a second. And like have it in mind. What is this person? They're 12? I hope they actually are 12. If they're 12, then it's okay. It's not even, okay, sorry. This smells great. You're so much more peace without them when I'm not channeling the energy. It's like so nice. You're at like a resort right now. Like basically is how it can feel like without this energy around you or without this job or this environment. I really feel like it's an environment, if that makes sense. Like it's not just a person at a boss, it's the whole ass workplace. It's not just your mom, it's your whole ass family and the conditioning that happened to make them like that. It's not just your dad, it's your dad's dad. You know what I mean? Like it feels like the environment. Anyways. I'm actually gonna do this for you. Fuck this. I'm not even gonna read it. Like dead ass. Like I don't want to read this. It's not happening. No, they suck. I don't know. The reason why I don't want to read it is because that's what they want. Basically, like I can tell you, like they just want you to dwell about it. They just want you to dwell about them or the pain you've caused them or the environment you've left them in. They just want you to dwell and they want to guilt trip you. They don't want to talk to you. They're not going to talk to you. They're just going to give you the silent treatment, like the weaponized silent treatment. The last pile was weaponized incompetence. This pile is the weaponized silent treatment. And if they communicate with you, it's only to get into your head. It's only to cause you to doubt yourself. It's only to make you more mad at them. And it doesn't even matter if what they're saying is true or not. It does not matter. They're just trying to play mind games with you. That's why I was like, it does not matter what they say. This is just a mind game. This is just very manipulative, right? And everybody has manipulation in them. I almost don't even feel like this person or this situation or this environment is any more manipulative than most situations. It's just that it was like, it was enabled. There was like an enabling for some reason that allowed it to happen, which I think is very Mars and Libra. But let's pull a card. Let's pull a card. We're going to pull from this. I'm so curious about this deck. I said this. I've only used it. Let's get their energy away. You're in phase 2 right now of this Uranus thing, okay? You don't need their energy around. You know, if you feel fragmented, it's because you feel like they still have a piece of you with them. You need some feminine energy being restored back into your heart. You need some loving, caring, kind energy. I almost feel like you need some mothering energy around you, whether that be your literal mother or a mother-like figure, or, you know, somebody that can act nurturing towards you in a mothering way. You need to receive that energy. And also you need to connect with your higher self psychically. Like, I shouldn't be so like, but because I don't like the word higher self, because then it's like, well, then what about your lower self? Like, why don't we talk about your lower self? A higher self insinuates a lower self, so where's all your videos about lower self? I don't know. But what I mean by higher self is, I almost want to see, like, I'm like saying it like in a 9th house way. The highest ideal of where you want to be and who you imagine yourself as. Not in a Virgo way, a 6th house way where it's like, I am perfect and I have an Instagram-worthy routine. But whether it's like an emotional spirit sort of feeling of, like, this is aligned with my highest self and where I want to be. And, you know, nothing's ever perfect, but it feels like, you know, you're on your way. You're going towards something rather than moving away from it, right? I lost my train of thought. You're distractible. Everybody's distractible, but you're feeling distractible, Uranus, because you have been ignoring your intuition. This is a moonstone, by the way. That's why I'm saying all these things. Because you've been ignoring your intuition for the sake of peace and balance and prescribed freedom, whatever that means. Prescribed freedom. Oh, but my boss, but at work I make so much more in tips than everyone else. That's my prescribed freedom. Motherfucker, your work isn't paying you. Customers are. That's where your loyalty should lie. The people that are actually tipping you then. Not the job that encases your slavery. You know? It's so dramatic, but it feels like that, especially with 9th house energy, I think. So what are we coming, what's the big, what is and was the big unexpected change? Justice reversed. You felt like this was an unfair change. This was an unfair shift. It was unfair what happened to you. It was unfair what you did to the other person. It just felt like the scales were off, right? We have justice, we have Libra. The scales were off. Someone was giving too much, someone was taking too much, someone was demanding too much, someone was being too negative, someone was being too positive, someone, you were being too negative, they were being too positive, Lord knows. We also have this deck, look at how bad this quality is. This is why I don't use this deck. What the fuck is this? Is this an AI deck? Is that what it is? But it doesn't even look like AI, it just looks like bad printer quality. Do you see what I'm saying? It was thrown together in a hurry. And it's like, what am I going to do with this? What the fuck do I do? I can't look at this. I can't look at that. So for some reason, you didn't want to look at the truth. You didn't want to look at, the truth was too ugly. The truth was too hard to look at. The truth was too jumbled, right? Matthew Hopkins, the man who would become the most celebrated witch finder in England. General Matthew Hopkins was the child of a Puritan minister. I would typically show you the picture while I'm reading, but it is so ugly, I don't want to make you look at it. After attending a witch trial, he proclaimed that he had the ability to spot a witch just by looking at them. When England collapsed into civil war in 1640, why do men think they're intuitive? Like, motherfucker, you are not. I'm kidding. I'm sorry, make me a man. I'm just saying, like, wait, I don't need to cut that out, but I don't think... Sorry, that was me. Let's take myself out of this and let's get back into talking about this situation, you guys. I'm so sorry. That I was just because Joseph Smith was on my brain. I was like, this sounds like Joseph Smith. Okay, that's what I was really thinking. When England collapsed into civil war in 1642, the young Hopkins saw an opportunity to make a name for himself in the chaos that gripped the country. He and his team moved from town to town, just sounds like Mr. Joseph Smith. He and his team moved from town to town, always promising to root out witches even if the local authorities believed none were there. He just hated women. He quickly convinced them by producing evidence in the form of pricking, witch marks, and fanciful stories about spiritual attacks against him and his associates. His book, The Discovery of Witches, continued to be used in the persecution of accused witches throughout Europe and in colonial America. What is this man's Lilith doing? What is this man's Lilith doing? He's like, he feels like maybe he's just so taken by women that he like feels like they're doing witchcraft and they must be rooted out. Or he just has no purpose and he's just trying to make one up. That's what I think it is. The Justice card represents equality, honesty, and integrity. When reversed, it indicates all the negative aspects of judicial authority, including bias and the failure of a lawsuit. On the card, Hopkins is depicting holding a staff and rope, which replace the traditional symbols of the Justice card with ones more applicable to a modern world in which judges are rarely blind or balanced. Oh, I do like this deck. I don't know why the quality is so bad. I feel like this is almost saying, like, there's no winning in this situation. That's why you left it. You fought a losing battle, right? If he's just going to point and say which, you can't prove really one way or the other. You know what I mean? You can try, but he's not going to listen. He's made up his mind, right? Matthew Hopkins, I'm talking about. Like, the situation has made up its mind about you. Even if this is a court situation, this can really tie to court stuff. This is saying, like, I hate giving this advice because I feel like I like to give the opposite. But I'm just going to say what I really feel like. I feel with Justice Reversed, it is saying, like, I don't know if this is a situation where going to court would benefit you, or if maybe what it's saying, I feel bad saying that because I'm always like, I'm such like a, Mars, maybe like Mars in the 9th house energy coming through, like, but fight it out, right? Act later, breathe. Act later. Oh, you do not know all the facts yet. Okay, so it's not necessarily saying if there's like a court matter for some reason, like you want to take something to court, or you're getting a divorce, or you're quitting your job because they don't pay wages. It's not saying to not go to the courts. It's saying you don't know all the information yet. You're not ready for it yet. You know, you don't fully know your opponent. You don't fully know the situation. There is more information that you need to find out. That was a part of the letter. The letter said, I'm just going to be honest. The letter said that, you know, that thing that I had you think about, that you were like wondering about if it was like a lie or not. I don't know if I said that, but that was like a part of it. They said it's a lie, and they've always lied about it. But what you think, how you think they're lying and what you think they're lying about is actually not true. And it's not the way that they lied. It's not, there's something else. There's another piece of information that you don't know about yet that you won't be able to figure out on your own. You just need to wait, breathe, gather yourself, and kind of, Mars and Libra kind of like does need to like sometimes wait on the other person to act, right? And I think this is kind of saying that, like, you're in phase 2 and you're kind of going to be stuck in a little bit of like a, what's that word? Like, it's a transition phase, but look, like, it's in an in-between space. You're in a wooshy little bit of space. Oh, God. Okay, but there's something else. There's something else entirely different from the situation that's also coming to change. This is like self-based. This is away from the situation that I've been talking about. We've got it. This is different. Let's see here. We have Saturn. This is your own lessons. This is your own stuff. This is your family stuff. This has nothing to do with this other situation. Maybe you're going through your Saturn return. Maybe you're about to go through your Saturn return. Maybe you just went through your Saturn return. I would guess with this pile, it's more likely that you're in the thick of the Saturn return or the thick of an important Saturn transit, Saturn transition. Maybe you are an Aries rising and you have Saturn going on top of your rising right now. So even though you're not an Aries Saturn, maybe you're both, you know, it's still affecting you. It seems like you're going through some prominent Saturn transit. We have lots of Scorpio energy coming out for this pile, which is interesting with it being Uranus. Jupiter in Scorpio in the 8th house. This has to do with your family, family secrets, family past, family money, family mental health stuff. There's some heavy stuff that you're in a weird way excited to dive into. You're like, but I don't see this as a negative. Maybe other people would. I see this as an opportunity to understand myself. I see this as an opportunity to grow. And if you don't, maybe that's like a good mentality to take. Like seeing this as an opportunity to figure out why you are the way you are instead of just like not understanding your own patterns or your own self, right? Maybe it's even saying, why did I get myself in this situation? Why did I stay? Why did I leave? 4 of Swords reversed. I'm going to fuck up this spelling or this pronunciation. Is it like Johann Kelpius? Johanna's? It's Johanna's, but I feel like, is it Johann? Or am I making that up? 4 of Swords. It's even a Swords because I know that I'm going to butcher the name and embarrass I don't care if I embarrass myself. It's like a lot more is needed to embarrass me than just mispronouncing somebody's name that I maybe should know. Whatever. Okay. 4 of Swords. Okay. Well, first, 4 of Swords. Rest. Right? Oh. Maybe some form of like, because I think of like, contemplation, right? A form of therapy. Maybe you just need to take some time and think and dwell, right? And think about your past and dissect your past. And I think with this 4 of Swords, talk about it. Talk about dreams. Dreams came up earlier in my mind. I was like, dream interpretation. If you don't have dreams, then maybe that's literal. Maybe you don't have dreams. Maybe you literally, I think that dreams are really connected to the idea of like dreams, like ambition. And if you don't have dreams, that's because you're struggling to have dreams. And if you have a lot of dreams, then that's representative. Well, then we go into, you know, that's that's like dream interpretation individually. But I do think if you're not having dreams that is representative of something, like as a whole, and if you are having dreams, then you should look into the interpretation and what they mean and start really paying attention to them and dissecting them. But I think also a lot of your dreams are anxiety. If you're having dreams, they're just anxious dreams because there's stuff in your subconscious that you're not being honest with yourself about, because I think it's like a minimization of pain. Other people have it worse or something like that. Johanna's was a Lutheran mystic from Romania who founded a religious sect in a cave in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the late 1600s. Ooh! A student of music, botany, theology, and astronomy. Okay. His belief that the end of the world, would occur in 1694 was based on was based on numerological interpretations of Revelations 12:6. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. That is interesting. Johannes, and his followers, maybe people butcher your name, and his followers lived in caves and strived to form a communal utopia. He preached the virtues of simplicity, celibacy, and peace, and taught his followers the secrets of numerology, astrology, and other occult subjects. Some say he discovered the philosopher's stone, only to throw it into the river before his death. Okay. The Four of Swords represents solitude and repose. It can indicate a period of inactivity or rest, but may also suggest the passing away of a person or their influence. This card shows him in prayerful meditation inside his cave. That's what I was saying, contemplation. Four swords have been cast off, which is emblematic of his devotion to peace. With it reversed, you're like, fuck peace. Fuck this. I've been in contemplation, and I'm back in contemplation. I'm tired of being in contemplation. The fuck you mean I have more to contemplate? No, thank you. I feel like this is a card that's like, you want to go out and act, but you know there's still more that needs to be, there's still like a question that needs to be answered, right? And I might have to do with this other person, but more than likely, the reason why you want to know the answer with that other person is because you're trying to find that answer from your childhood or from yourself, and you feel like somebody else might give you that answer, but they're not. You have to give that answer to yourself. Now, maybe I do feel like forms of therapy or healing, like, are coming in, maybe being more open to it. Maybe you're going through Uranus, a Uranus transit, where, you need to you need to be open more to alternative forms of healing. Maybe that's coming up. Oh, I don't know. I put the cards away and we kept this card out. So the Four of Swords is staying out. I think it's also, the fact that I've been looking at it upright, I feel like it's also saying finding peace in the in-between. Finding peace in the transition period that you're in right now, right? How do I find rest amongst chaos? How do I find peace amongst chaos? How do I sleep amongst all this stress, right? The throat chakra is coming up for you because we have the Four of Swords reversed. So it's like you find out all these things in confidence or in contemplation, but you feel like you can't go out and say them and speak about them for fear of maybe being judged or for being ridiculed or for being a speaker of truth and not for not being believed. So you need to find some outlet for your words and for your truth, whether that be some form of creation or whether that be therapy or whether that be journaling. Yeah, you have like some shit stuck in your throat. There's a lot of power, though, in it. Both. We die with the dying. Oh, yes. We die with the dying. See, they depart and we go with them. We are born with the dead. See, they return and bring us with them. T.S. Eliot. No one cares about your life or the shit that happens to you. You have to carry yourself. You have to be your own investigator of your own life and of your own path, of your own peace too, right? What will come with it, at least, because anyway, yeah. You have to carry yourself. You have to validate yourself. You have to validate your own past. You have to seek things out because you want to seek them out. You can talk about it with people, you can share about it, but at the end of the day, you have to be the one that accepts it and moves forward. And, again, I feel like there's like a want to go back and look into your ancestry and answer these questions. And it's like, no one else is going to do that except you. So you have to go and do it. Also, there might have been somebody in the past that passed. Let me see. Where was that? Oh, I lost that page. Oh, yes. I really like this quote, but I struggle to understand it, but I intuitively feel it. We die with the dying. See, they depart and we go with them. Yeah. And we are born with the dead. That makes sense too, right? Because we're born with the people that have passed on, right? It's like kind of saying it's in the same realm. See, they return and bring us with them. So it's talking about reincarnation. I think it's also saying, like, if there is somebody that's passed in your life, that they're Jupiter in Scorpio in the 8th house, they're around you more than you know, and they see you and hear you and validate you more than you know, but they're also tired of you complaining and tired of you dwelling, or like tired of you feeling sorry for yourself and tired of you pretending like you don't know that they're around or something. Okay, we're gonna close up pulling from these two decks. This is the Nocturnal Garden Lenormand and the Supernova Tarot. So now what unexpected changes are coming up after this big change, right? Does that make sense? Yes, it does. It does to me, and I'll explain it if it doesn't. Okay. We have Fish and Dog reversed. This is a Lenormand deck. I feel like, because the fish to me feels, okay, so the fish to me feels obviously Piscean, but also she's in this cup. She's stuck in this cup, but she seems content to be in this cup, but obviously she doesn't fit in this cup, right? She's just like, oh, it's pretty and it matches me, so I guess it should be in this cup, right? Maybe that's like the past. And so the unexpected change that you're going to be realizing is that you're never meant to be a big fish in a small pond. You were always meant to be a big fish in a big pond, right? And that even though in your past that cup was pretty and it matched and it fit well and it was aesthetically pleasing and it felt like yeah, right, this is where I go, there's obviously something so much better for you out there. And maybe you were like, well, this cup is so pretty, most people don't even have a cup that's this beautiful, most people's cup has a hole in it or something, right? Which I feel like is that kind of like energy that I was talking about earlier, where it's like, well, other people have it worse. And it's like, yeah, but like this girl's not like, she's deluding herself to be happy, right? Look at that blank stare. That's a Gen Z stare. Looking off into the distance, thinking about what else is there. So with it reversed, it's just kind of, I think, accepting that and never going back to it. Now the dog reversed. It looks like the ghost of a dog, though. Doesn't it look like a ghost dog? An 18. I feel like it's saying, like, you'll be fine. Like, I feel like you're so scared of all this fucking shit happening, and you're so scared of this, like, horrible disaster coming your way. You were the disaster that came somebody else's way. Good for you. So move on, right? Don't be so afraid. The bad things have happened to you. I feel like it's saying you've gone through the worst of it. Now it's time to move forward. But let's see what they say about the dog. I've never gotten this one. Sorry, these aren't numbered. The dog. Let's see if I was right. Loyalty, support, friendship. Loyalty and loving support can be an act of kindness. Be the source of friendship for someone in need and work on quality relationships with others. So I feel like this is just saying, because it's reversed, be cautious of who you bring into your life. Don't bring in just any wounded or hurt dog into your life and try to save them, right? Help those that are helping you. Help those that are worth helping, right? You will enjoy good health and financial independence, right? So I think this is saying again, like, you don't need to take in every sick dog, right? Quote unquote. Fish reversed. It's one of the last ones. Abundance, wealth, finance. Abundance can mean more than material wealth. Emotional value can be greater than finance, and understanding the difference is a powerful vision or powerful lesson. So what I think this means reversed is realizing the opposite. Is actually, I think, how I would say this is like two very empathetic cards. And I feel like it's saying it's the change, the unexpected change moving forward is that you're going to serve yourself. Aries, Gemini energy, right? You're going to learn that there is value in the security and safety that you've never been granted. That there is actually a lot of emotional value in that. And that emotional support only goes so far, weirdly enough. And that it said financial independence and good health. I feel like it's saying like focus on financial independence and good health. That will be what really fills up your cup in this coming future, right? Make sure, maybe with fish reversed, I get a Pisces vibe. You haven't been treating your body the best, and maybe it's time to pay attention to that. Maybe with the dog reversed, I just feel like you've been helping the wrong people. It's time to help the right people. Goodness, this one is really long. Let me get one last message because I didn't pull out this deck for no reason, and I know that's true. I need two final messages because I also pulled out, I'll save you the spiel, this other deck kind of for funsies. But let's just, really quickly, rapid fire. Let's pick up the pace since your life is picking up pace. We have the Nine of Wands reversed. Stop being afraid. Go out into the world. Do the thing. This is not the time to where you feel like you have to be tattered and bruised. This is the time where you get to feel like, fuck it. Let's do it. Judgment reversed. You have acted and you have accepted the fact that you have made a move, but for some reason you are going back, dwelling about it, thinking it, and letting it still control you. Also, who cares about what other people think about you and how other people judge you? It's time to just judge yourself. The Lovers, choices. There's going to be a lot of choices coming up. Choices. Decisions. Love triangles, work triangles, Lord knows what. So be ready to make those decisions. You're nervous. You feel like you don't have the ability to make those decisions, but that's false. You, King of Pentacles, know exactly what you want. You know exactly the decision you want to make, and you know the exact decision that more than likely will benefit you the most and the best in life. And so you need to stop doubting and start acting. And release all those negative thought patterns and all those mean things and all those fucking self-doubt and all that stuff. Is just stupid. It's stupid and you don't need it anymore. There's no point for it. You don't need to continue feeling sorry for yourself because of how mean you are to yourself. Blah, blah, blah. If you're so fucking mean to yourself, why don't you just be fucking nice to yourself and then you'll be a lot happier, right? All right, this is your love message. This is a love message, and specifically, even if this whole pile has been about your family, this is a specifically romance and love guided message. Date, meeting someone new, dating, get back out there, plan, set a date. Have fun. Go out there. 5th house. Nothing serious. Nothing 7th, 8th house. Have fun. Treat yourself. Take yourself on a date. Take your friend on a date. Say yes to a date. Be open to dates when they ask you out. Just date people casually. It doesn't have to be this big, all or nothing. Am I devoting my life to them or not? Just have fun and meet somebody new. And meeting somebody new, you'll find out that you actually had the spark that you've always been looking for in a relationship, that you held it all along. And it doesn't matter who's in front of you. You'll always have it. The Golden Mirror. Self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. I feel like it's saying go on a date and you'll know how to spot the signs sooner now. You'll see it. You'll know what to do. You'll know how to avoid it or get what you want out of it, right? You're not going to fall trap to the same things that you fell trapped to in previous relationships. And if you're the self-absorbed one, okay, good. Be the self-absorbed one. Be the one looking for a one-sided relationship moving forward. Because right now we're just looking for fun. We're just looking for dates. This is a time of change. This is a transition time. One last card. I am really holding you. Engagement ring. Oh my goodness. I feel like this is saying that you want to be courted in love and in relationships. Like, that's really what I feel like. And I feel like you've never felt like you're allowed to be, like you've been told you're too much or something. But I feel like there's like a want to be, like, literally traditionally courted. Like something along those lines in a relationship. Like, but it still have fun and still enjoy yourself. But definitely, just a little bit of like a higher expectation, I think, that's being brought in, right? You want all of the bells and whistles sort of energy, even if you don't fully feel like you deserve it, you know that you want it. And in that way of wanting it, you're more open to receiving it, like receiving the love or the promise or the commitment in a relationship that you've maybe always been looking for, the kind of commitment in a relationship that you've always been looking for. But yes, this is the time to thrive in the chaos, truly. This is the time to enjoy the unexpected and go with it and enjoy and find peace and solace in this transitionary time. But yes, this has been a pretty long reading pile too. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you resonated or got something out of it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I sell full-length birth chart readings on my website, shainaemily.com. I actually have a transit special up, $75 for 30 minutes, limited time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I truly wish you the best with everything moving forward. Bye. Hello and welcome, pile 3. So you chose the Magicians and that tarot, the blue one. But since this is my Uranus video, I'm throwing a little curveball at you. Yes, you actually did not pick the pile with the Magicians and Martyrs and whatever the fuck tarot deck. You picked actually the pile with the B tarot, okay? Keeping you on your toes. All right, expect the unexpected with this Uranus transit. That's been my lesson today. So you actually chose the pile with the B tarot. You chose, and also we have the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle and the Seasons of the Witch Lammas, if I'm saying that right, Oracle as well. I'm not starting with tarot though in these videos because I tend to do that in all my other pick a card readings, and if I'm throwing the Uranus curveball at you, I figured I'd also throw it by like switching up the piles. I figured I'd also throw it at myself and try to do these a little bit backwards to how I normally do them. So we're going to start just by purely tapping into your energy. We have Uranus. This did feel like this feels like the pile that has been through the change already. You feel like you're kind of maybe a little bit out the other side, right? Maybe you're watching this in the future and you watched the previous piles a little bit ago. Maybe you're somebody that, maybe even if you haven't been through the change yet, you've just been through so much change your whole life that you're like, this is what I'm used to and I'm actually looking forward to it because things have been too stagnant for too long. I feel like there's a very different feeling to this pile. It feels very open and accepting and welcoming and almost like challenging the world. Like, give me that thing I'm not ready for because I've pretty much been ready for it all. Maybe it'll kind of surprise you a little bit, but I feel like I need to get on your level. So I actually brought out some calming spray. This is ylang in lavender to bring peace and serenity. I brought it for myself because I feel like I need to get it on your guys' level because I feel like you guys have really found some level of like hermit energy. But not like hermit in the sun. Like there's an inner child aspect, there's a freeing aspect, but there's still like a mental maturity, an intellectual maturity coming in. I feel like it's maybe you have like a really nice balance of energies in your chart. Maybe you have like strong Gemini, but then you also have strong Capricorn. And so you have that childlike quality, but then you have that adult-like quality. So if you need to, draw upon the youthfulness, you can do that. If you need to draw upon the maturity, you need to do that. Maybe you've you know, maybe you have some progressed energy coming in where you usually have this very mature energy in your chart, but your progressed energy, your progressed moon is like Aries, or it's in, I don't know, Leo. It's very like fun and excitable. So you're getting to bring in this new sort of youthful energy. And I just feel like there's a nice balance coming. And I feel like these people aren't, even if you're not at the best place in life, I feel like maybe mentally or emotionally, you feel very free or open or something along those lines. Or maybe you're just somebody that's optimistic about these next transits, quite simply. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. This is, I can't see who this is from, but this is, I wrote the name down here. This is a quote. This is a beautiful quote. Oh my God, I completely forgot this quote. Yeah, right? Like maybe you're, these piles have really gone in order, like kind of at the beginning of the unexpected change, pile 1, in the middle of the unexpected change, pile 2, and this is at the end of, towards the end, like you're reaching the end of the rainbow, right? So it's like another world is not only possible, she's on her way and you feel it. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing, like you're at a point where you freed yourself from whatever has held you back in the past. And you're figuring out, you know that life that you've always dreamed of, that special spot you've always dreamed of in your head your whole life is possible. And you feel it talking to you and like close, or maybe you're about to move and so you're just like waiting it out, or you're about to, get some kind of approval and you just have to wait, and you know it's on your way and you know it's there. You just have to keep going and continue forward and wait for it and welcome it with open arms and keep going towards it, right? Like it's there. It's just a matter of time. We have Mercury in Sagittarius in the 4th house. Yeah, that's that like combination of this like mental excitement, openness, and hope. But the 4th house, it's still a little bit, almost want to say like small picture right now. It's a little bit like it's just been being cultivated in yourself, in your home, in your room, and it's about to be time to blow it up or something. Not like in a good way, like it's going to blow up and expand, not like, this is not an energy where I feel like you need to destroy everything around you and start fresh. No, this is an energy where you need to be adding on to what you already have and to be growing with what you already have. This is, you've already blown up everything, right? I feel like the dust has settled. Now it's time to pick up the pieces and the hard part has just begun, right? Oh, so this is what it's like when I'm really left to do the things that I've said I would do. Right? This is what I've set myself up for, and now it's up to me to do it. I said I'm going to focus on these decks in a second, but I want to draw from these love oracle cards. I've said that I thought this was a funny pick for me. I got these from like a used store, and I thought it was cool to have. I figured it would have the energy of like a bunch of heartbroken people. Like that's my idea, and so I feel like it's very like honest and very like loaded and very like tired of everybody's shit. That's what I thought I was hoping the attitude of the deck would be. So I got it. I would never normally get cards like this, but I was like, people have used them and I like that. And so I feel like they're a little bit more, there's a lot of personality, I think, to this deck. Anyways, so I normally wouldn't use cards like this, but let's get some messages. This is just about you, though. This is just about you. The butterfly. Relationship evolving to the next phase. Healing the inner child growth. I am exactly on the right path. Let's see what's going on in the 4th house of the astrology chart right now. Aquarius and Palace. Yeah. So you've kind of created, again, I'm feeling that hermit energy mixed with the sun. You've created your own sort of, what's the word? Like you created your own Zion a little bit in your space, like your own utopia. And you have all these thoughts, you have all these ideas, you feel very intellectually charged. And it's just about feeling comfortable enough to put it out there, right? To put, maybe these changes that are coming up are really opinions, right? Maybe your opinions are especially changing. Your external world has already changed, so your internal world is changing. And maybe you don't always feel so confident putting your thoughts out there. Maybe it's really hard for you to move forward with the information that you now have about life and people and yourself and your family. This card that came up was Heart with the Key. This is the past card. Heart with the Key, welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together, perfect. Heart with the Key. I think this is talking about, obviously, love, but love with meeting, finally finding somebody in love or a hobby or finding love in some form or shape that finally fits you, that finally matches your actual love style, right? Heart with the Key. So it's saying that, I think it's saying that you've had your heart protected for a very long time and you haven't been letting a lot of people in. Very Aquarius, 4th house, Palace in the 4th house. You've been tending to your literal or probably metaphorical hearth, you know, at home, keeping the fire lit, basically. You're just yourself, right? And if you've been in a relationship, then I feel like you're out of that relationship. Or if you're in a relationship, then it might be the one. And it might be like welcoming that relationship or love in. And it might be really hard because that love or that relationship might feel very unconventional. And it might feel like, is this really, I think that you're trying to finally align with your true relationship style, relationship attachment, love language, whatever words you want to put onto it. You know, Venus sign, 7th house, whatever. You're finally aligning with what it is that you actually want. And not what just you think you've been told, what you've been told that you want. And now you're looking actively for that person that fits that. But I think it's kind of a little bit hard because, first of all, it can feel like, well, there's only one right person out there for me. Or it's like, how will I even find this correct person? There's definitely someone, or maybe a hobby, if this is a hobby, and out there that fits you perfectly. It's just about welcoming in the unexpected, right? Your Uranus is like, you might like the person, you know, you might like a relationship that's not the style of relationship that you thought, that you were told you wanted, but it's what you always knew you wanted. You just felt guilty about it. You might not be with the person that you thought you'd fall in love with, but it's actually the person that you needed in your life. There may be a hobby that you find that you like, but you always thought that you couldn't do that, or that it wouldn't work for you, or that you feel like you're not allowed to, but you are. Right? And it's great for you. The Sword and Rose reversed. The Sword and the Rose reversed. Clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, power. I feel like it is kind of saying, like, don't just jump into something that, don't just like project onto someone or something, you know, what you think you want. There's like a lack of clarity, a lack of truth telling, a lack of opening yourself up to the revelations that are around you, a fear of solidarity, a fear of using force, a fear that you'll break your honor, a fear of a loss of protection, a fear of a loss of power. You're afraid of falling in love. You're with someone or something, or with yourself, or with you know, a passion or whatever it is, because you're afraid it's going to lie to you again. You're afraid it's going to mislead you again. Or it's like, why open myself up to just get hurt again? There's still, even though there's been so much healing and so much evolving, you know, and it is important to 100% think about your, goodness. And this is like the most giantest fly ever. Ooh, there's something a little spooky coming in. I think what it's saying is, it's like, oh, sorry, I don't know if that was gone. I think what it's saying is, the world is going to try and test you again. I think it's saying the world is like, yes, the world wants to bring you eggs, and yes, you want more than the world wants to bring you. You want what it is you actually want in life. But the world is going to test you again to make sure that you're not going to fall for the same things that you fell for last time thinking you'll get a different result. Like I say this all the time, whenever you leave someone or end some kind of relationship, even if you successfully like fully break it off with somebody or some career or some workplace or whatever, some dynamic, that's a good word, some dynamic, the world will bring you that dynamic just in like a different shade, like just in like a different color, just in a different texture or form or outfit or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Just in like a different hue, right? It's just slightly adjacent, but it's still the same patterns. And so it's saying there's something out there for you that you know that you want, but you have to be willing to accept it when it comes and know when to separate from when it's coming and when it's testing you, right? So it's not about being fearful and closing yourself off to everything. It's about being open to only the right things, right? Or the right things for you, which is different than the right things for other people. Oh, well, I guess this doesn't matter. All right, so we've been on some tarot stuff for a second, even though like not fully. I feel like you're I feel like you're rushing me. Like, I feel like you're like, but what's the point of this reading? Okay. What's the point of the reading? I feel like you want me to pay attention to the cards because, yeah, that fly is fucking huge. I feel like it doesn't even really look like a fly. Is it not a fly? Is it a bee? Oh, the bee tarot. Is it a bee? I guess I need to welcome it. I know it's not a bee. It's like a fucking fly. Pixie, can you get this? Broly? Sorry, I had to pause. Because I just feel like there's like one message that's to the point and you need to get going. Like I feel like you have a lot of stuff to do. I feel like you're very anxious and you're like, I come to you to get to the point. So let's get to the point. The point of this reading is the 9 of Wands. To stop, just stop stress, to put down your armor, to breathe, to put down your battle axe in life and stop fucking fighting through everything. It's time to just fucking enjoy yourself and your thoughts and enjoy what's around you and relax and like, or more than relaxing, like find peace. Like, God, you're just like, you're burning the wick at both ends, burning the candle at both ends when you don't need to be burning either side. Well, like maybe like a nice little like, right? Nice little, but like this is too much. And that's the point of the reading. You're doing too much. If you really want to get to your highest point of success, you need to just be. You need to be you. This is feeling like first house Uranus transit, 5th house Uranus transit, maybe even 4th house Uranus transit, something like the 10th house Uranus transit. You need to just be you. And that's where that's when your success will come in. Right? Stop fighting. Stop choosing the option that's the hardest and choose the easiest route to safety, right? And on the other end, on the other end of this burnout, the world, completion. Realize that, yes, this is the end of this cycle, right? Don't pick it up again if the world tests you again. You're coming to the end of this, of whatever it is that you've been through, and you're starting something new. There should be this feeling of completion and wholeness, and I think you know this. And so there's no reason to look back. You have looked back. You know the lessons that you had to take from this change or these unexpected changes that happened. You know, you've identified, you've grown from it, but for some reason you're still feeling like you have to hold up your defenses, right? Feeling like something's gonna threaten me, right? But there's literally such good cards here. Such nice cards here. We have the Hierophant, which this is a beautiful Hierophant. This is one of my favorite Hierophants that I've ever seen, honestly. I feel like usually I don't like the Hierophant, but there's such like a all-knowing sort of energy here instead of just like a I tell you what I think sort of energy, right? She's living, the Delphic bee, it's the Hierophant, but she's living with the bees, amongst the bees. She's living with her environment instead of against her environment. She's coexisting, cohabitating, and allowing there to be inner teaching. Like she's teaching the bees and the bees are teaching her, right? The student and the master merge together and you lose those titles after a while, right? And you start coexisting with your surroundings. And that should be the feeling of if you step into a new relationship, if you're looking for a new relationship, if you've stepped into a new relationship, it should feel like you're cohabitating and benefiting from each other. And this should feel the next relationship or the relationship that you're in should feel new and like unnavigated territory. It shouldn't feel like been here, done that. It should feel like, oh, like, wait, I can let go. We have the sun in Cancer in the first house. Oh, I am allowed to allow what nurtures. I'm allowed to allow what I nurture to also nurture me. I'm allowed to be vulnerable and speak my issues and voice my complaints and voice my thoughts or opinions. And that is rewarded rather than criticized or ridiculed. This vulnerability is helping me be understood rather than allowing me to be manipulated. Yeah, I really like this deck, even if you're watching this at any time of the year, because this deck is very positive, colorful, uplifting. This is one of my favorite colors ever. And I just feel like no matter what stage that you're at, this is like the first, Lammas is representative, if I'm not mistaken, of the first of 3 harvests. So it's like all that work that you've done in the past, all those, all that energy that you've put into yourself or your job or your this or your that, it's finally paying off. Even if it might be literally financially, but more than that, I feel like your soul, it's paying off in your soul. You know what I mean? Let's see here. What's a message? If you're not feeling this way, what's stopping you from feeling this way? Woo! Okay, sorry. Flower bouquet reversed. Savor presence with life and notice the magic living in the small moments. You're just not realizing what's around you. You're still living in like the horrors of the past. This is telling you live in the present, live in your surroundings. Sun and Cancer in the first house lives in their surroundings for better and for worse, for all that means, and they love it for it, and it's positive, right? They are not only just asserting themselves with Sun in the first house and who they are, they're also being emotionally aware of their surroundings and taking it in and letting it affect them and letting them respond and allowing them to respond to it in what is hopefully a non-judgmental way, but is also allowing them to be nurtured and loved and adored and genuinely have their energy be reciprocated by their surroundings. And I think there's just a little bit of a lack of a stopping and smelling the roses sort of energy. And you should really stop and smell the roses and be proud of where you've come so far. Is it the end of everything? Like, are you at the end point? Are you at your end goal? No. But like enjoy it while you're getting there and enjoy what you've shed from the past. Beauty, bringing in the outdoors, sacred living. You're just not going outside enough, I also think. Like, like I said, environment is so strong with Sun and Cancer in the first house. So, make sure that if you don't like your living situation right now, then you need to spend more time in an energy or an environment that you like and that you enjoy because it affects your mood directly. Even if you can't move, find a shop or a cafe that you can get something small at and eat at and spend your time there or something if you like that environment better, whatever it may be. Beauty, bringing in the outdoors, sacred living. Savor presence with life and notice the magic living in the small moments. The presence of flower bouquet is an immediate call to stop and smell the roses and engage with the little moments in life. This card is about self-care beyond that of just rest. You are encouraged to develop a shift in your mindset and work towards reducing your overall stress and anxiety. It is a sign to spend time in nature, cultivate a better sense of fulfillment, and deepen intimacy in your relationships. There is no need to move out of the country. There's no need to move out to the countryside to develop the art of slow living. All that is required is a willingness to explore the things that bring you peace and comfort. Turn on relaxing music, set the mood with candles and soft textures. I feel like this is saying, like, now that you have maybe some of your own space or your own mental space, or maybe you have your environment reflect your inner world more, enjoy it, savor it, allow yourself to take in the gifts and the pleasantries that others and yourself have given you. Set the mood with candles and soft textures, cook your favorite foods, or take a stroll through the neighborhood park. The idea is to be present rather than letting life pass you by, because doing so will have a profoundly positive impact on all areas of your life, and especially what you have inquired about today. I really think your pile is just like, with these changes, the unexpected changes that are coming up are positive. They're maybe not... They don't feel super financial. They feel like, again, spirit, soul, emotional, even physical. Even if it's not financial, it feels like physical surroundings will improve. You know what I mean? Maybe because of finances, but that doesn't seem like the main focus, which I feel like should be freeing, which should be very freeing, that it doesn't feel like finances are going to be the main focus, these good things, because that'll be in the background and settled, and you'll actually get to enjoy and be present in the life that's around and in front of you. One last card. This is a great time to attune to your magic. This is a practical magic oracle. So this is a great time to start manifesting, doing magic, to have life move in the direction that you want it to. That shit, when you really feel it and you're passionate about it, it can really, I don't know, it can really change things. And so have a little bit more of a belief in your own magic, your own ability to change your surroundings, your own ability to feel something so hard that it manifests. Use that for good. So what's some sort of magic energy to take in? There's 3 cards, but they're not for everybody. And the way to know which one is for you, it's not just like picking a number. So the first one is if you feel like your throat chakra is closed, like if you feel like, what's stopping you from reaching your magic is not being able to speak it into existence, is of knowing what you want but not being able to speak it and own it, like being afraid of it, being scared of it, maybe you even like a closet witch, right? So let's first, if that connects with you, but if you feel like, no, I've been speaking my mind, I got this, then this isn't, this is not as much the magic that you need to bring in. But if that speaks to you, this is some magic that you need to bring in, and that could be a strength for you. Full moon. So working more with the moon energy, but because it came up reversed, I feel like it's saying stop just working with full moon or new moon energy. Work with the stuff that suits you. Work with the moon energy that suits you. Just because it's a full moon doesn't mean that affects you how you want. Just because it's a full moon coming up doesn't mean that that's the manifestation you want to move forward. It needs to be more personalized, and it needs to be more specified for your sun and moon in your chart, because we got it reversed. Yeah. Now let's talk to the people that are struggling with their sacral and solar plexus chakra. They are struggling to identify what it is that they actually want, right? Sometimes maybe you even think before you identify what it is, or maybe sometimes you act before truly identifying what it is that resonates most with you. And I think that there's also a big fear coming up of like, oh my God, I'm going through a really strong Uranus transit and I need to let my freak flag fly and I'm nervous about it because of X, Y, and Z. So if that resonates with you, this is the magic that you need to bring in. Amethyst upright. Acceptance and courage. So bring in working with crystals, especially crystals that are empowering, especially crystals that you feel an emotional connection with intuitively. Not because you look up the description and you resonate with it, but because you feel drawn energetically to this crystal that you own for some reason, to the crystal in the shop that you see, to this rock outside, right? You need to use your tools in witchcraft, not because of what you look up and type in and it says this represents this, which that's fine, doing great to learn, but you're not there right now for some reason or another. Maybe you're past it, maybe that's not where you're at, whatever. You need to be just intuitively saying, this is what looks nice to me. This is what I want to choose. Because in doing that, and just doing that in like maybe a practice, whatever kind of occulty practice, or just however this resonates in your life, by picking those intuitive choices more, you'll start aligning more with what you actually want, who you really are, and you'll be allowed to just do things because you give yourself the authority to do so, right? There needs to be a little bit more of a sharpness and a precision to your personality that you need to bring in, that I think crystals can also help exaggerate. Okay, now the third pile, and maybe you resonate with multiple, who knows, but the third pile of what is I think also pile 2, I think is very affected by crystals, and it really calls to them and is really connected to them. And if you're not, ask yourself why. And same with pile 1 with the moon. You're probably very connected to the moon. Maybe you have strong Cancer energy. Maybe you have strong moon energy in your chart. Maybe you have a lot of moon aspects. Maybe your progressive moon is really intense, right? That's something to pay attention to right now. The third pile, Mercury. Interesting because we already had the throat chakra, because it's not about the throat chakra, it's about the third eye. This is speaking to the third eye. Your third eye is overacting. It needs to be a little bit more calm. It's picking up on too much right now, and it's allowing every message in, and it's not being discerning enough. And it's like an overactive third eye, right? It's almost like you're not seeing what's right here in front of you. You're picking up on everything, and it's like, how do we get you to see and really tune in to what is almost like right in front of you, but for some reason you can't phrase or put a word to, just like I'm struggling with right now. Phone tree. Community. I'm actually going to have to look this one up. So first of all, I think it's saying like you need to connect more with earthy, natural things. You need, that makes sense. Already, hold on. There's also, you need to connect your third eye to your root chakra. And basically what that means is that you need to connect your intuition to what is physically going on around you. Instead of, maybe you were trained when you were younger. You were probably one of those people that in childhood have like all these trauma responses from having to walk on eggshells around the people that you were raised with and having to read in between the lines, but now you're not there. Now you're maybe living alone or living in a more peaceful situation or a more peaceful environment, or you have a little bit more of your own space or whatever it is. And it's saying like, now it's time to connect to your surroundings right now and not your surroundings of your past, because you're receiving these messages that you're misinterpreting or you're confusing or you're feeling stressed out or skewed by, or, and there needs to be some more mental decisiveness. That's why we actually have this Mercury coming in. And the trees, like bringing yourself back to earth. Don't go out and buy crystals. Don't go out and connect to the moon. You need to literally look around with what's physically in your environment and connect to that. You need to connect to the earth and the ground around you. You need to start, if you do a magical practice of any sort, use things that you have found or that people have given you. Found items, found objects that you know where they came from, that you sourced or that you know the source of, or something along those lines. Something more earthy. It's less about buying all these things and stuff and getting all these messages from other people's things because you buy this and buy that. No, it's about connecting to your personal immediate surroundings. It's time to reach out to those around you. Learn to lean on those who are near and dear to you in times of need. Loved friends and family are the best and strongest support that you can have. Use these connections to help you with any issues or questions that you may have. They are here to support you. The tree is a great symbol of wisdom and having a strong foundation. The more branches a tree has, the stronger the roots. As the great tree grows and extends its branches, it in turn develops its stable connection, and it in turn depends its stable connection to the earth. Become the tree. You can also utilize the magic of this card, its affirmation in a green candle, for its connection to the stable and grounding element of earth. My branches are as strong as my roots. So it's starting to talk to people. You can start to talk to people again. The magic that you need to enter in is just like normal human connection for you, honestly. A connection to your community, a connection to your surroundings. Just be a human again, right? Stop talking to ChatGPT and start talking to the people around you. But yes, that is your reading, pile 3. I do feel like there's one more message that I have for you. And it comes from the Supernova Tarot, which was the pile that you were going to pick anyways. And I feel like there is a very strong, fun, empowering message. So what is the secret power of yours that is going to help you with these transits in this upcoming Uranus time that you do not know about? 10 of Wands. Honestly, you have an ability to persevere through anything and everything, and you have nothing to worry about, because even if bullshit is thrown your way, you know how to pick up the pieces and move forward. And yes, it sucks. And yes, you don't maybe want to have to know how to do that, but you do. It's like somebody who's had to change jobs so many times, and as much as you hate it, you now know that you'll always be able to get a job, even if you're at a fucked up situation, because you got a bang ass resume, you do banging on the interview, like you know how to do it. So even if life changes your careers, changes your jobs, you know how to move forward and do that shit again, even if you don't want to, you know that you're capable to, and that in itself should make you feel fearless moving forward through this time. I'm going to be honest with you, out of all of the cards, or out of all the piles, you are probably in the best situation to handle what's coming, because I feel like you're through the thick of it, actually. You know, life always has a lot more stuff in store for us, but I think you're coming to a little bit more of a calmer time in the future if you allow it to come in. If you go, yes, I welcome it with open arms. But yes, okay, so that is your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it, Pile 3. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I need to change my battery pack. Let me know if you resonated or not in the comments. I'm always curious. And, you know, I'm doing a transit reading special, $75 for 30 minutes, up only for the next little bit of time. So check that out. But I always sell full-length readings on my website. So don't worry if you missed it on this special. I always sell transit readings on my website. But yeah, that's besides the point. Let's move forward. Thank you guys so much for being here and for supporting me and for watching this pick a card reading. I really enjoy doing them, honestly. Thank you so much for watching. All right, bye.